welcome to Everyday Unscripted. This is this show. I mean, this episode right here, or this stream is about what do I think about, or why do I think the U.S. might be in trouble, or you know. First up, I want to just give you some examples on reason why. Well, let's start with the definition of failed state. The definition of failed state is when a state structures lack political will and or capacity to provide basic functions needed for poverty reduction, development, and safeguard security and human rights of their populations. When the state, when the state and society is unable to constructively interact and leading to defects in effectiveness, legitimacy, tongue tied, legitimacy, or both. Okay, that's the definition of failed state. Okay, that's the first. Here's another definition of it. Or what is a failed state? Loss of physical territory or monopoly on legitimacy, force, to use force. By the way, this is from the Peace Fund. The Peace Fund definition of it. Okay, the next one is erosion of legitimacy, erosion of legitimate authority to make collective decisions. And the next one is inability to provide reasonable public services. Okay, and then the last one here is the collapse of state institutions, especially the police and judiciary, with resulting paralysis of governance and breakdown of law and order. The general, bantery and chaos. Not only are functions of government suspended, but the assets are destroyed or looted, and experienced officials are killed or flee the country. Okay, so that's like, in other words, maybe like I say, lost territory, loss of legitimacy, incapable of providing reasonable public services, and collapse of state institutions. That's the more or less what it's saying on that. And the next one here is another. I'm trying to get the definition of the failed state, so you can understand what failed state actually is. All right, failed state. This will be examples of failed states. Countries like Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia cannot control large parts of their own territories. In such failed states, economies struggle and government provides little security, healthcare, or education for their people. The international terrorist groups have found refugees in failed states. Basically, they're saying that the terrorists found refuge in failed states. That's what they're saying. Yeah, okay. So like Al Qaeda in Afghanistan, and that's what they were trying to say with this. All right, the next one here is my definition. Oh, the reasons why I think that the problems in America. First one I think is corporate greed. I'll just go ahead and break it down every time I go down this list. So corporate greed. All right, that's kind of self-exclamatory because you got a job, you got companies really got too much say so, I should say, in the way people run their lives, more or less. So that's kind of like, okay, who's really running the country? The corporations or the politicians? That is one of those. One reason I'm thinking that might be one reason. Another reason is racism. If you got people out there that how should I say, will rather cut off their own leg than to have you walk. You know what I mean? Or you know what I'm saying? You can't have it. They ain't want it either. You know, that's hurting not only themselves but everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So racism, yeah. If you holding a particular people down, you holding yourself down as well. You know what I mean? You can't hold a man down without staying down with him. You know what I'm saying? That was a pretty good phrase I heard back in the day, and it's true today. It was true back then. It's true today. All right. Next one is world inflation. Well, this is one thing that's not really America's problem, but it's not America's. They didn't cause the problem. You know what I mean? But they caused some of it. I ain't gonna sit there and say they didn't cause any of it. Yeah, we caused some of it. But anyway, inflation around the world is affecting what's going on in America. So basically, yeah, you know, that's world inflation. That's another thing that's killing America right now. You know what I'm saying? Loss of legitimacy of law and order on law enforcement, meaning that we can't fucking trust the police now. You know what I mean? I've been looking on YouTube for a while, and it's like every day now you keep seeing police shootings and police doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? Come on, really? That's a loss. You know what I'm saying? How can you trust the police when they come to your door? You know what I mean? How can you trust all that? You know what I mean? Next one is loss of legitimacy in the court system, which is basically almost the same thing, but not quite, because we had that Roe vs. Wade thing that just happened. That's one thing that gonna really hurt, well, one particular party, if you want to be specific, but it's gonna hurt, you know, a lot of people. And the more they keep doing that, the more they're gonna lose legitimacy in the courts, because people ain't gonna believe what the fuck they're saying, or they're not gonna listen to what the fuck they're saying. You know what I'm saying? In other words, why would you follow the laws that they're setting if they're not following the laws themselves, right? So, okay. All right. Number 6 is loss of legitimacy, you know, on the world stage. Well, let's be real. It kind of started with a good old Trump, but it ain't really snowed. It didn't start with Trump, but Trump exacerbated the situation. You know what I mean? So, because a lot of people over the years before Trump was looking at America like it's being imperialistic. You know what I mean? And they just want to rule everything. They want to have their hands in everything. So, you know, as the world is watching this over the years, I'm pretty sure they were sitting there saying like, well, we ain't know if we can trust all that. You know what I mean? So we've lost some legitimacy in the world because of that. You know what I mean? And now it's another thing is the pandemic. They see that America can't even take care of their own people. You know what I mean? And the pandemic kind of shows that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, number 7 is not taking care of their citizens. Yeah. Now, okay. Let's talk about the people. Let's talk about the homeless. Let's talk about the homeless right now. A lot of homeless on the streets, believe it or not, from what I've noticed, because I've talked to a lot of homeless people on the streets. You know, go out, and you see them. You might talk to them. You know, and a lot of homeless are former military people. You know what I mean? They're former military. So, I mean, if you care about the military so much, why so much of them homeless on the streets right now? And not only that, okay, you're not taking care of your people. It's when it comes to health care, especially in red states. You know what I'm saying? They decided, okay, instead of taking care of their people, you know, back before Because I'm not going to blame everything. See, I'm in Georgia right now, so I'm not going to blame everything on Brian Kemp, because Brian Kemp didn't make that decision. It was the dude before him, which was um I think who was it? But it wasn't Purdue. I forgot who the hell it was. But anyway, he decided that just because Obama, he made Obamacare, right? So Obama was trying to help out with Obamacare. So they decided that no, they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to expand healthcare in their states because of that. Probably because of the second thing, racism, and decided that maybe we don't need we just because this black guy is president, we're not going to accept anything that is coming from them. Now they didn't think about, okay, but you're hurting the people that your constituents. You're hurting them. You know what I mean? Politicians are like, don't. But it comes to the number 8 there. Corrupt politicians. Why they don't care about the people is because they're corrupt. Most of them are corrupt because this is calling for what it is, whether Republican or Democrat. Most of them are corrupt. Why? Let me give you an example. Not the drug companies. Let me think of a good example here. Not the drug companies. Let's see. But the drug companies would be a good example. But we can look at what's going on now. It's what's going on now. But good example of the corruption would be like, NRA. That's an excellent example. Let's talk about the NRA. Okay. They got a lot of power in there, and they can't even pass a law to even have a small, thing about guns. You know what I'm saying? A small, okay. I mean, they ain't even want people to have just walk in the store and grab a gun. You know what I'm saying? But you can go in the military, right? And Biden did made an excellent point, but I already knew that point already. He made an excellent point the other night because he was on TV the other night. But he made an excellent point that when you go in the military, to even get a gun, you gotta have you gotta go do a lot of stuff. You gotta go do training. You gotta go do I didn't know they had to go through mental training as well, but yeah, they had to go do all kind of training to even get the gun. And then you gotta know how to store the gun. And then if you don't do that shit, they kick your ass out of that program. You know what I mean? But you can go in, but anybody can go in the store and get a gun on the street. But yet, and why is that? Because the NRA. Why is that? Because the politicians are in their pocket. That's why. They making too much money from gun sales, and the NRA giving them too much money for them to say, well, we can't just do that, So it's real strange when a politician even come out against them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, corrupt politicians. It ain't just the NRA. It goes all the way up back to one, corporate greed. But, what I'm saying? It ain't just corporate greed. It's politician greed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, corruption. Number 9, politicians don't represent their constituents. Okay, you get elected to go to the state or the Senate or, even the, or court, whatever. You get elected to those positions because people thought that you was gonna vote in their favor, right? Most people, when they vote, that's what they're voting for. They're voting, okay, all right, they say, well, we want better schools in our neighborhood or whatnot. Okay, if one dude say, well, I don't want better schools in my neighborhood, I want more of this in the neighborhood, but everybody want better schools in their neighborhood, and they vote for that person to have better schools in their neighborhood. Guess what? They're looking for better schools in their neighborhood, right? But most politicians nowadays, especially from people from old Kentucky or whatever, don't seem to be even thinking about what the fuck the constituents even want. You know what I'm saying? They just deciding themselves on what the hell they think people want and putting, and going with that, that ain't gonna work. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, politicians do not represent their constituents. Now, I ain't gonna sit there and say all, but there's a lot of them that don't. You know what I mean? You can kind of tell when they go up there and see what they vote for and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's not what you say, it's what you do. You see what I'm saying? You can say all kind of shit all fucking day, but what you do is make what defines you. You know what I mean? So, okay. The less number 10 is loss of productivity. Well, that has been going on for a while now because you got a lot of jobs going overseas, you know what I'm saying? And then you got some jobs. Well, yeah, that's what the main thing. You got jobs going overseas, but you get that comes from the greed thing because some corporations don't want to pay bills, and they don't want to pay taxes, so they go overseas. Then some of them still don't fucking pay taxes, when it comes all the way back to corporate greed and corrupt politicians, and it goes all the way to my other problems. I think I made 11, but yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, loss of productivity. Now, what that would say, that would actually, if we can actually produce more, that would actually be all right for the next one, which is 11, is the national debt. Which that's my number 11, the national debt. That's a bad problem too. If you keep making money, not really having anything to back the shit up, that shit will catch up with you eventually. You know what I mean? I mean, it's common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this shit forever. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then you can't keep borrowing money from somebody and thinking that, oh, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. You can't, that shit ain't gonna be forever. You know what I mean? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? So that's a big problem in my opinion as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I think. Those are my problems that I think that America have right now. Those are my 11 there. All right, the fixes. Well, some of the fixes, what they were saying on that site, what I had on before with the piece. Was it piece? What was it again? Let me go back and check. Not that one. The peace fund, yeah. The ones that, but there's like some of their particular fixes. You know what I'm saying? One fix will be internally driven state government. So in other words, let's see, long-term commitment, intelligent planning, deep understanding of society and culture, international corporations, lots of money, acceptance of casualties. Well, let me see. Let me think of this now. What are they trying to say here? So what are they saying? They're just saying make it more national? Because some of these things look kind of funny. Acceptance of casualties. What do they mean by that? International cooperation. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because you're gonna need other countries to help out. Understanding society and culture. Deep understanding of society and culture. Well, we should have had that all the time, but yeah, whatever. But this gonna be a problem because most people don't seem to want to understand other people's shit. So long-term commitment, intelligent planning. Yeah, you don't have to plan the shit back out. All right, the next is needed state building core. Need a state building corps. I don't even know what that means. All right, whatever. Grievance reform. Yeah, well, yeah, because when you have problems, you got to have a way to solve those problems. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, what they mean by grievance reform is reform the goddamn the justice system. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about America, let's put this in America's standpoint. If you want to reform America, yeah, grievance reform, yeah, that would be great because that means if you fix the courts and you fix the goddamn police system and all whatnot, then yeah, things would be a little better. Yeah, so yeah, that would be a great one. Foreign aid and debt relief. Well, what do you mean by debt relief? It depends on what do you mean by debt. America debt, what do you mean by debt relief? It's just student debt. That ain't debt relief. You know what I mean? That's student debt relief, but that ain't debt relief. You know what I mean? Because debt relief mean that, okay, if you got bills to pay, not student loan bills, but just bills, you know what I'm saying? Maybe because you know to eat that's a debt too. You know what I mean? You got to buy food, right? So if you talk about giving more people money to take care of the debt, then yeah, that would be nice. But the only reason you would need that is if it is a actual failed state. You know what I mean? If it's still making money, then I don't know. Maybe I would say this for certain people, yeah, in America, and the reason why I say that is because yeah, the coronavirus actually did mess a lot of things up because you know it shut a lot of things down. You know what I mean? So people couldn't work. You know what I mean? And they lost their jobs. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it yeah. So they kind of need to kind of focus a little bit on that too, as far as fixing some things. You know what I'm saying? Containment. I'm guessing they mean by containment is basically just keep everything national. You know what I mean? Not go out, not trying to like America right now. See now that America is really fucking up on that shit because containment. Yeah, right. You got troops in goddamn Afghanistan, Iraq. You got them all over the goddamn world. So containment that ain't something that America is good at. You know what I mean? So that gonna be a real problem for America. You know what I mean? Well, they're saying that you got to close up all the army bases and whatnot in the world and then put everything just right in America, right? You think they can do that? The funny thing, though, that Russia don't do that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of strange, you know what I'm saying? Being that, okay, you had America and Russia, the two superpowers, right? But Russia ain't had as many bases in the world as America did. If you notice that, you know what I mean? It's kind of odd, you know what I mean? But strategically, but yeah, I already know why, but it's going on. But anyway, okay, and the last one here is on their things is why is it difficult? Why is it difficult? Everyone had to wait for this. Collective action problem. Everyone. I guess they're saying, well, why is it difficult? Well, you got to get everybody on board. That's what they're trying to say. You got to get everybody on board. You can't just have, one people over here doing one thing and you got people over here doing another thing. You got to get people on board. You know what I mean? Everybody got to be on board with that. So let's go back to my list on why I think America's failing. And let's go with my fixes here. I'll just go with my problems here and I'll just look at it to see my fixes. Corporate greed. All right. That's kind of self-explanatory. You can't have corporations and basically jobs involved with the government the way they are. You know what I mean? Because basically they got more of a say-so than the average person. You know what I mean? The way it is right now in America, that's pretty much what it is. They got more of a say-so than the average person. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to do something about that. You can't. I would say this: as far as the politicians go, yeah, they need to stop accepting money from corporations. Plain and simple. And I know that Bernie Sanders is one of the people that always talk about that. Corporate greed, but he's right. He is exactly right because we ain't trying to say take away from the corporation's money. No, we just saying that you need to get out. You need to stay your monkey ass out of goddamn politics. That's what we're saying because a lot of times that when you get in politics, you're only thinking about the corporation. So in other words, what you're trying to do is you're trying to maybe build a plant somewhere, or you're trying to get some land somewhere, blah blah blah, or cover. That's how it is kind of on a lower level, you know what I'm saying? But on a higher level, you got people, a corporation I should say, that like say say the cigarette company. Let's go back to the cigarette company. They was lobbying, you know, politicians to where people they know the shit was dangerous and killing people, but yet they was lobbying the people to giving the politicians money just for them to keep selling their poison, right? So, I mean, that's on the high end. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking at the high end nowadays, the cigarette companies don't have that much pull as they used to, but who does? You know what I'm saying? Who does? Well, the oil companies still do. You know, I mean, we kind of go down a list. You know what I'm saying? A lot of companies do that you may not even know about. You're not even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like an orange company. You know what I'm saying? You go back in the day and they talk about what was the country? Was it Venezuela? I think it might have been Venezuela. But how they was talking about this orange company basically took over. Was it Brazil? It might have been Brazil, but took over that area more or less. Just you know what I'm saying? They basically took the land, and now you got other people in poverty, and because it's this orange company, right? So it ain't just you know all the cigarettes and stuff like that. No, it can be goddamn. It can be any company. See what I'm saying? They can fall into that category. So yeah, that's one thing that need to be fixed. Racism. Well, thing about racism, it's kind of hard to fix it. You can't just fix racism. You know what I mean? You have to just let that shit die out, more or less. You can't just fix racism. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to let that die out. So, you know what I mean? When I mean die out. You got to let that die out. So, I mean, I can't really speak on racism that much because it's kind of hard to fix that. Because you're fixing people's minds. You know what I'm saying? If they're not going to be fixed, then you just got to wait for them to get the fuck on. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. You know what I mean? I ain't give a fuck if you don't like what I say or not, because I can't stand fucking racism. Why the fuck you gonna sit there and hate me just because of my skin color? Fuck wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Probably got a mouthful of rotten teeth and smell like ass, but you don't like me because of my skin color. Fuck wrong with you? You know what I mean? So anyway, let me go back to it. I mean, I'm supposed to be professional here, so let me go back to professionalism. All right, world inflation. Now, U.S. can't really solve the world's inflation, but they can solve its own inflation. See what I'm saying? So things that fix it to solve inflation. Well, they just had a bill that they trying to fix the inflation right now. So we're gonna see how that works out. So, you know, I could go back and see what they were talking about. I could actually shoot up because I got YouTube on here. I could shoot up and see what's going on in that. But yeah, we just move on that. We just say world inflation is American inflation. We need to fix our and the reason being because this is and the way I see it is this: you can fix world inflation by fixing the U.S. inflation. Why? Because of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is all over the world. That's the most accepted currency in the world. So if you fix that, guess what? Inflation around the world, it gets better. See what I'm saying? So if you fix American inflation, truthfully, I think that would actually fix the world's inflation. So, yeah. Loss of legitimacy of law enforcement. Man, now that one, that goes with the racism thing. Because, see, some things, a lot of stuff, the biggest reason I'm thinking law enforcement is losing their legitimacy now is because of racism. Because they're doing racist shit. You know what I mean? Shooting people in the back, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're doing racist stuff. So the way to solve that problem is you got to get rid of their monkey ass. You know what I mean? Fire them. I mean, and the reason why I say that is because look, you got, especially recently, you got people that win in cases, right? I ain't mean like $1 million, $2 million. No, I'm talking like $50 million, $100 million. Well, 50, I think I heard the last. That was the most recent. You guys got $50 million, right? From police basically trying to fuck them up. You know what I mean? So, and then you got other cases that, police, I pull it this. Police is costing a lot, states a lot of goddamn money. $50 million. And and then he did the shit off of because he been racist. Really? Y'all man. That right there solve a lot of problems too. Because look, the national debt that would it'll probably solve some of that. It'll solve some of that damn inflation. You know what I mean? It'll solve at least two of that if you can solve that problem right there. Because that is ridiculous. I mean, you costing people a lot of goddamn money over stupid shit. You know what I mean? For real. A lot of money over stupid shit. Loss of legitimacy of the courts. Well, same thing. I ain't mean just a big thing with the Supreme Court, but it ain't just the Supreme Court. Like for instance, let's talk about the racism thing. Now, you got people in the lower courts, right? Like in the judges in the lower courts right now that racist as hell. You know what I'm saying? That is being real. Racist as hell. You know what I mean? They'll throw a minority in jail way quicker than somebody of their own race. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? That's where that's playing a favorite. So that means look at it like this: if you got 100% legitimacy, right? That because everybody in the population trusts you, right? Okay, if you got right now, as far as okay, if you got the black population in America, they saying black population in America is around 14%, right? Well, 14% of those people probably don't trust the fucking courts. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. And the reason being because you got black people who keep getting harassed and assaulted, and then when they go to the fucking court, that shit don't do no better. Sometimes the courts be making it worse. You know what I mean? So that's like that's a problem too. You know what I mean? So the more you delegitimize somebody else, the more you delegitimize yourself. See what I'm saying? And the same thing with the police. You know what I mean? The same thing with the police. Because if the police wasn't doing anything wrong, right? Guess what? They'll have about 100% legitimacy right now. If they ain't been doing nothing wrong, if they just been doing their job they're supposed to be doing without any racism, right? Without any of that, man, we probably had the best police in the world. But we got police right now. You got people that lost all faith in them right now. So it ain't just black people because white people see the shit too. You know what I'm saying? And they see, yeah, I mean, wrong is wrong. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do. Let me put it like this. And people can say this they can take it how they will, but let me put it like this: race ain't got nothing to do with wrong. You know what I mean? Race ain't got shit to do with fucking wrong. If wrong is wrong, period. I ain't give a damn how you look at it. The shit wrong. You know what I mean? So you can sit there and make yourself feel better that you thinking that the shit is all good, but guess what? The shit is still fucking wrong. If it's wrong, it's fucking wrong. You know what I mean? It don't matter who the fuck you is. You know what I'm saying? You can be black, a judge, but you're still fucking wrong. Like fucking Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is, I think he's just the person who want to go with the okie doke. In other words, whatever the fuck they want to do, he gonna do. You know what I mean? But he'll sit there and act like, oh, well, I'm going to focus on this, because he was saying, in the interview, well, I'm going to look at gay rights and all that. Man, fuck. You ain't going to do shit until the rest of them want to do shit. Man, shut up. You know what I mean? I don't believe what a damn thing you say. Anyway, let me get back to this. Loss of legitimacy in the world stage. Well, that really just going to take, basically, just keep doing the right fucking thing. If you keep doing the right thing, America, then guess what? Eventually people going to start seeing that you're doing the right fucking thing, America, and then maybe you'll get your legitimacy back. But until you start doing the right fucking thing by people, you ain't gonna get that legitimacy back. I ain't know what the fuck to tell you on that. You know what I mean? If you ain't doing the right fucking thing, people can see that. You know what I mean? All that don't believe what your lying eyes tell you. Don't that shit don't fucking fly with most people. You know what I mean? It may sound good as a little catchphrase, but guess what? That shit don't fly with most people. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's go to number 7. taking care of the citizens. Well, we can go with taking care of the citizens can corrupt politicians, and we can put it number 7, 8, and 9 together. Politicians don't represent their constituents. We can put 7, 8, 9 together. You know what to solve that problem with 7, 8, and 9? We need better politicians. And the way we can get better politicians, I think, is we need more than two parties. Either this, we need more than two parties, or we don't need parties at all. You know what I mean? And personally, I think we don't need parties at fucking all. Just get rid of the Republicans and the fucking Democrats. Get rid of all of that. You know what I mean? Don't even have political parties anymore. Why would you need a political party to get elected to a position anyway? You're supposed to be a citizen getting elected to a position, right? A chair or whatnot. Not a Republican or a Democrat. No, we just get rid of all that shit. This not even have Democratic parties. I mean, yeah, we don't even have parties no more. That's what I think we should do. Just get rid of them all together. I mean, period. Just get rid of them, and maybe we'll have some fucking fairness in America. You know what I mean? And okay, number 10 is loss of productivity. Well, loss of productivity. Even though we got a lot of companies went overseas and whatnot, we need to help out some of the smaller businesses because they ain't got the money to go overseas, right? So they need help to stay afloat. There's a lot of businesses that got hurt during the pandemic, so we need to help them out. You know what I mean? We ain't got. If you want to get productivity going, you need to get the businesses that are here going. You know what I mean? So we need to help them businesses out. That's plain and simple. We need to help them out. You know what I mean? And the national debt. Well, like I was saying before. Some of that stuff will get rid of some of the national debt, like stopping these police from killing people and costing the city so much goddamn money. And same thing with the courts, but the national debt. Well, I would say this. Like I say, if we can get that productivity going, we'll get that national debt down. Because the more we can produce ourselves, we can sell off to the rest of the world. The less we have to actually pay back to the other country because we can either get them goods and we can pay our bills back that way, or, we can still pay them, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to want the goods. You know what I mean? The way that it's set up, look at China. They want us to buy their goods, right? So if we got more productivity going over here, we're going to need more of their goods, right? So, that helps. That helps. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I mentioned China, because we probably got China the most money out of any goddamn country. So, yeah. But we owe a lot of money to other countries too. So, but that productivity will help America out a lot. We need to get more jobs going. I ain't mean low paying fucking fast food goddamn jobs either. I'm talking about jobs that actually create some stuff, actually get off of some shit. You know what I'm saying? All is hurting America. I had to, and the reason being because people, other countries got how should I put it? They got how should I put it? They got a stranglehold over America because if they just stop giving oil to America altogether, right, then we got to produce our own oil, right? So, that's like, okay, we can produce our own oil. We can. Because we do got stockpiles or whatnot, but that's the cost money for them. I don't know, but point is, we need to produce more. Period. In America, we need to produce more. So those are my fixes, I think, and this is why I think America is failing as becoming a failed state. It can't be fixed. It can't be fixed. Like I say, we can get that production going. We got to get some more, not jobs, but we need to get more companies that produce stuff that actually can help America. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, well, a lot of people still use oil, but we can still put. If we got so many stockpiles of oil, why are we importing so much oil, right? I mean, it's kind of a greedy situation. You're trying to import a bunch of oil, but you got a bunch of stockpiles. It makes sense if you think about it in a strategic way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that would help out some. The courts and the law enforcement, that need to be fixed like immediately, because if you can't trust the courts, how can you in your house, right? How can you trust even calling the police? Because you know what I'm saying, you call the police and all of a sudden, like if you're a black guy, you call the police, you might get shot, or they might come up in there and I've seen police do this shit too. And I pull like this. We actually had a police show up here. They were looking for somebody else, but they did show up here. But when they did show up here, see, you, even though they wasn't even in this house looking for that person, they still were looking around trying to find something to get on us. See what I'm saying? And I saw that same thing on another video. It was a lady, I think in South Carolina or whatnot. Police came in her house. They basically busted into her house, right? The person they were looking for wasn't even there, but they still been looking around the goddamn house trying to find something to get up for the rest of people for. You know what I mean? So yeah, shit like that is really. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that need to be fixed too. You know what I mean? All this dirtiness. It's too much dirtiness. Too many people thinking about themselves too fucking much. That's what the fucking problem is. Politicians, oh man. I would say that I was saying, oh yeah, and that's what I was saying about the politicians. Get rid of the goddamn parties. Get rid of the Republicans and the Democrats. Don't even have political parties anymore. You know what I'm saying? That will solve the problem with the because they won't be pondering the shit. They got to stand on their own. You know what I'm saying? They got to stand by themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, if we vote for you, tell me what you are going to do. Not what your party going to do. You are going to do. See what I'm saying? That'll solve the goddamn problem right there. Get rid of the political parties. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, it done got so to the point. Or if you want to get rid of political, okay, if America don't want to get rid of the political party, all right. How about making more than fucking two? See what I'm saying? We gotta have more than just two. You know what I mean? That's another problem too. The last election, you had fucking Joe Biden and goddamn Donald Trump to pick from as presidents. We didn't like either one of these goddamn people, but we had to choose somebody. You know what I mean? And Trump was fucking up so bad, so we had to choose. We had to get rid of him at least. But now we got Joe Biden now, and then we, you know what I'm saying? Well, how did we get to that point? Because we had two fucking parties. That's why. And we had a bunch of people in that field. If you look at the when Joe was running with Bernie Sanders and all that, we had a bunch of people in that field that were actually much better than goddamn Joe. But Joe ended up running, and everybody had to bow out because of the party. You see what I'm saying? Fuck the party. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the party. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why if we didn't have a party, we would have had, at that time, we would have had about, we would have had something like what? Almost damn near 20 people running for president at the same time. Just imagine that. And you know what I mean? It would be a lot, and then it would be a lot better because it would make the politicians work for it. You get it? Work for it. If you work for it, you'll be more appreciative. See, if you in a party, like, let me give you an example. Goddamn Mitch McConnell. You know what I'm saying? You actually say, well, how the fuck this old motherfucker still in the Senate, right? Why? Because of the party. You know what I'm saying? Every time he got to a runoff or whatnot with the Republicans, it always end up being Mitch. Now, if they actually had no parties and they just had three guys, you see what I'm saying? With Mitch there, you think Mitch would have been there for 20 fucking years? No. Another thing too. How the fuck? Let's go back in the day some more. Cause they were just mentioning what's the name? The senator. What was that senator name? Out of South Carolina. This motherfucker lived for 20 goddamn, I mean not 20 years, he lived for 100 years. What his name? What the fuck her name is? Racist as hell too. God damn. Anyway, you might be the who I'm talking with. Strom Thurmond, that's his name. Strom fucking racist ass Thurmond. Now, this motherfucker been in the state he lived for 100 years, so he been in the state for at least 50 of them motherfucking years. How the fuck this bitch been in the city for 50 years? Why? Because of the parties. You know what I'm saying? Because of the parties. If you want people not to stay in those seats for that damn long, get rid of them goddamn parties. Get rid of them motherfucking parties. That's all I got to say on it. Anyway. This is my live stream today. I ain't got no viewers, and I got one viewer. But ain't nobody really saying anything. But it's all good. It's all good. I just wanted to get out this information. I just wanted to say my piece. You know what I'm saying? I want to say my piece, you know what I'm saying, on this particular subject. You know what I'm saying? The next subject will be about woke. We're going to discuss woke next time. You know what I mean? But this time, yeah, that's one thing we need to do, fix in America too. We need to get rid of them goddamn political parties. We need to just straight get rid of them. Don't even add more. Just get rid of them. We don't even need them. Why we need them? You know what I mean? Explain to me why we need them. Why this guy? What? It's like a party. It's like a group. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Why can't the man stand on his own? You know what I mean? Like, you know, they do Fetterman in I think Michigan or what, I forgot what state he's running in, but that guy, he could actually go far because the way he stand, even though he's a Democrat, yeah, but the way he presents himself almost like he by himself. You know what I mean? We need more politicians like that because people who gonna stand by themselves gonna represent you more. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they had to work for that shit to get to that point. See what I'm saying? That's the reason why the Democrats don't do much for people either. You know what I'm saying? Republicans damn sure don't do nothing for nobody, but the Democrats they don't do as much as they should, and the reason being because of that same simple fact, because it's a party. We need to get rid of that party. All those parties, Republicans, Democrats, all that shit need to go. They need to go. So, if you want to solve problems of America, that's one thing. That's one thing right there. Because right now, if you look at the way things going right now in America, that's what the fucking problem is. That's what the biggest problem is right now. The Republicans, Democrats. Why? Because okay, you got your Republicans doing stupid shit. You got your Democrats trying to stop to do stupid shit, but they still gonna do stupid shit too sometime. And you see what I'm saying? But it's still there's two of them. There's two of them still. You know what I mean? We the only, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that in America we do stupid. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the world don't even do. like the two-party system. You go to every other country that got a democracy, they got more than two parties. You know what I mean? A lot more. But we sticking with two fucking parties because we ain't got two fucking minds? What the fuck? Two brains? Or we just want to use one side of the brain, the other side of the brain, that's all it is? You know what I mean? We that got fucking stupid? You know what I mean? Come on, really? And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I say, as far as the court systems and all that stuff, that need to be fixed because, I mean, I'm about to say this, if you're racist, you need to get the fuck out of that because, I mean, we know why you're there. We know why you're there. But, I mean, if you want to fix that, you need to weed the ass up out of there. I mean, if you feel like you are, you got to go. It's plain and simple. Because you're a public nuisance. That's why. You know what I'm saying? You might not be good for public safety. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. And the judges, same thing. Some of those judges need to go too, because they're dirty as hell. You know what I mean? They're not just racist, but dirty. You know what I'm saying? Crooked. You know what I mean? And then when you just finding out the shit, man, they've been doing this shit for years. So, come on, you know? All right, let me go back real quick. Let me just check out this little list again. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. Taking care of your citizens. You got to do that, too. And that kind of comes from... See, some of that stuff can be solved by having the right politicians in there. See what I'm saying? It can't be solved by having the right politicians. If you have the right politicians, guess what? those politicians will work for the people. Meaning that, see, some of the stuff that I had on my top, my problems, like racism, that could be one of them that could help out. Corporate greed, that definitely will help out because they won't have people taking money from corporations. Um, um, Politicians not representing the constituents, that'll help out with that definitely. Not taking care of the system, that'll help that out too. Corrupt politicians, that'll definitely weed their ass out. See what I'm saying? That'll help out. I got like 11 things on this list. That'll take care of 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 things off this list. See what I'm saying? Just if you do that one thing. Get rid of the goddamn Republicans and Democrats. Get rid of them. Don't even have political parties anymore. And that would help. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this up. This stream is almost an hour long. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but let's go ahead and end this here. And I will catch you on the next video. The next stream. Which will be, like I say, which we will be talking about wokeness. What the fucking problem wrong with woke? We'll discuss it on the show.